Hello, Philadelphia! I'm Bruce Buffer. It's time for the Anthony Gorgano Show!
Good day, good morning. Happy Friday to all. As I know the Eagles are out, but it's time for a special playoff edition of Cuz's Corner. Powered by Parx Casino and the Bet Parx Sportsbook online casino app. Shortly going to bring in the brain, and we're going to dive through a playoff weekend. I know the Eagles are out, but the playoffs continue. We got, the divisional round, 2 games Saturday, 2 games Sunday, and the national championship Monday night. So we got some heavy hitters on the docket. And as always, think about the Bet Parx Sportsbook online casino app for all your live betting during the game. In fact, when you talk to the pros, like the brain, he's going to tell you the best way to attack this stuff is live betting because you have a feel for the game, right? You dive in. The brain is masterful at that stuff. So we'll give you that. We'll talk some football. We may talk a little baseball futures because of the Kyle Tucker signing, so we'll get you all ready. But make sure you're on the app. There's always another way to win. All your favorite casino games, live dealer blackjack, roulette, craps, and all the hot slots. BetParx.com has a great deal going on. In fact, all the details for new customers get up to $1,000 casino bonus back if you're down in the first 24 hours. Check that out. You're going to be 21. You're going to be in PA, New Jersey, Maryland, Ohio. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. And don't forget Parx Casino for a nice Valentine's Day date night or just a guy's night out and a girl's night out with all the hot entertainment acts and the great restaurant, awesome dining going on at Parx Casino. So check it all out. Now, without further ado, to dive in and tackle all the games, the brain. Good morning, brain.
Anthony, you just said something I have to talk about. The Dodgers remind me, not that I'm one, but of a billionaire walking down the street in Dubai with his wife saying, going to a watch store, be like, honey, I kind of like this watch. What's it cost? $16 million. It's really expensive. I like it. Let's get it.
Right? I mean, are you kidding me? They're giving this guy $60 million a year.
Anthony, again, it's funny. I heard, do you know that guy, do you know who Andrew Tate is? You heard that name? He's one of these media social influence guys, kind of messed up dude, but he's worth a lot of money. And he's a bragging kind of guy, but he goes, let me tell you what money is. Money is, and he goes, when you don't know, when something costs something, you don't even, or a car costs whatever, you don't even ask what it costs. You don't care because it's irrelevant. And I'm like, oh, it's nice to have that life, I guess. But that's what the LA Dodgers are, Anthony. I was actually thinking about it. The cost is just a number. It really doesn't mean anything. And when you're playing in that world, man, that's such a baked-in advantage over these other teams.
It is. I mean, your analogy is so right. $60 million a year.
I mean, that means he's a very good player, but jeez.
No, he's not. I mean, not even close.
He sucked.
You saw his numbers last year. Oh,
he sucked. It was like $60 million a year. I would have been off on that one. I'm glad he didn't find out how much he was going to get.
My question, and we'll get into the football games, but since we're on the Dodgers thing, is it apocalyptic, right? Like, so next year, the CBA expires. Everybody's expecting a long lockout. Could be an ugly year for Major League Baseball. And you go, like, this kind of contract, it just gets you into a whole other stratosphere of issues.
Anthony, again, I see it the way you do, but again, it really comes down to what I said. It's that billionaire seeing the watch that costs $10 million. Like, I had $20 billion. What's 10? I want it. I don't care. I don't. It's like it just the price just doesn't mean anything. I want the item. The price is just. Do you ever see WWE with Virgil with the $1 Million Man? I don't know if you ever watch wrestling. I used to be a wrestling guy, and he's like, "How much is it going to take?" And he's like, "You can't buy me." And the guy takes out his briefcase. He's like, taking out the hundreds. He's like, "You got it. What do you want? I'm done. I'm in." It just doesn't make a difference. And to them, it's just they have zillions of dollars. It's just we want the player. The price just doesn't even make a difference.
It's true, man. It's insane. And you look at that lineup. In fact, Ty, if you would put the lineup up. I mean, the lineup is absolutely insane. The MVP is batting eighth, Tommy Edman, right? Shohei and Mookie and Freddie Freeman and Tucker and Will Smith and Teoscar and Muncy and Edman and Page, who's a really good young player, hitting ninth. Are you kidding me with that lineup?
Yeah, look, it's obviously. Listen, but put that back up for a second. Do me a favor if you can.
Yeah,
if you can. Okay. I agree with you. I think it's the best lineup in the league. But I just want to say something. How could maybe it not work out? Well, Tony's the best player. I'm not going to talk about him. But Betts last year was not good.
Right.
Freeman's getting older. Tucker last year wasn't good. Smith is a very good catcher.
He got braked up. He broke down a little bit last year.
Right. Teoscar's a solid pro, but not a star. Muncy is a guy that,
gets hurt a lot.
Gets hurt a lot. He's a welfare man's Kyle Schwarber. He'd get at 180 with like 24 home runs. I wouldn't blink an eye. Edman, whatever. Pages is a good young player, but I'm just saying I could see a world where it's just really good and not the best, the all-time lineup. But again, this team on paper, Anthony, is ridiculous.
Yeah. But to your point, in baseball, paper teams don't always win. Like, just ask the Yankees. Like, they don't always win.
Not at all. It's the one sport where hockey too, but you can't like buy a championship in baseball. No. You'll say, "Oh, the Dodgers did," but they really didn't. I mean, they actually. I mean, well, you could argue they did, but I'm saying they still had to win series where, again, I will argue for the rest of my life, Toronto should have beaten them. The Phillies should have beaten them in those series. Just the breaks went their way.
Right. It was the baseball breaks, not the
baseball
payroll.
Breaks, not do with the payroll. I mean, you're telling me that when a Kirkering throws the ball away, that has something to do with the payroll?
Right.
Stop it. And when Jeff Hoffman, ninth inning, gives up a home run to a guy who has 3 home runs. Rojas, was it Rojas? Who hit the home run? Was it Rojas?
Yeah.
With 2 outs in the ninth inning. I mean, they got lucky. In fact, the first thing, if you remember, the owner of the team or the president, when he got interviewed, he was like, "We got really lucky," and I actually admired him for saying that because they did get really lucky, and they shouldn't have won. So you just never know, and they got lucky in the terms of Anthony. When the playoffs started, Snell was healthy, Yamamoto was healthy, Ohtani was healthy pitching. During the regular season, none of them were healthy. It could have been flip-flopped. Where during the regular season they were healthy, and during the playoffs they weren't. You never know how it's going to go.
You're spot on with that. Spot on. So, if anything, it's kind of interesting because it will probably lend good opportunity to futures elsewhere, at least giving you great prices, right?
They're right. They're taking so much of that pie. It's like you think of it as a big pie, and like a big pig like me is eating like 85% of it and leaving the rest for everyone else who's starving. You pig, but I'm taking 85%. I'm giving you 15. I would have eaten 100. But the Dodgers are taking up so much of that pie that if you think that there's a path for them not to get there, I will say this, in terms of futures to win the pennant and stuff like that, I'd probably prefer to take the American League teams to win the pennant and not have to deal with the Dodgers, although I did take a long shot on the NL. The one team I did take was a long shot in the Pirates, 125.
I do. You told me about that. We talked about it last week. I just think that's so smart. I think it's listen, who knows, right? I know the Cubs got Bregman, exactly right? But I think you're right on. Like your reasoning, you always say, "I show my work," and I just think it's smart. I think the Pirates have a lot of upside. I do because you're going to start with those two pitchers. You're going to start with Skeens and Jones and go from there. And that Lau signing was a good signing.
They also got O'Hearn who hit 300 with like 25 home runs last year. But
Yeah.
they have, which is interesting. They have a couple pitching prospects. Bubba Chandler,
Yeah.
top 5 pitching prospect in baseball. He's going to start for them this year. Hunter Barco, another 25-year-old guy who's going to be really, really good, lefty. And Connor Griffin's the #1 baseball prospect in baseball. Now, will they call him up at age 19? Maybe not. 6'4", 230-pound shortstop who's supposed to be absolutely insane. He had 75 steals last year with like 40 home runs.
He's like Tulowitzki
right, he's like Tulowitzki. Right,
yeah.
Right. So this is a team that if they choose to start the clock on some of these young guys, which maybe they will, again, I could see a world where, again, are they going to win as many games as the Dodgers? No, they don't have to. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is once the playoffs start, look, who was better, the Diamondbacks or the Phillies 2 years ago?
Right. Obviously, the Phillies were better, and
the Phillies
they
were way
lost.
better.
Right.
They lost. Right. And it happens all the time.
It's baseball.
It's
baseball.
baseball.
What'd you get for them to win the Central?
15-1 to win the Central, 125-1 to win the pennant.
I mean, 15-1. That's a great bet.
Over 73.5 wins. And I took them at 5-1 to make the playoffs. So I bet them every way. They're my biggest investment. Love the Cardinals under, by the way, too. That's 74.
Yeah, they stink.
On the Park site. Best number in the world is on the Park site. 75. That team wins 75 games. I remember Bob Walk said, "I'll walk home," or something, or Jim Rooker, when the Phillies were down like 11-0 the first inning, and he actually did do it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that, but Cardinals are going to be quite bad.
Yeah, I'm with you. All right, let's get down to the divisional round, and let's talk some football. Here we go. Tomorrow, 4:30, CBS.
Yeah.
Dateline Denver. The toughest game to pick on the slate. Broncos and Bills. Now, the line was a pick at Bet Parks, and it's moved to Denver as a slight favorite.
Yeah, it's interesting, Anthony. Here's the thing. I'm going to ask you a question. Who do you think's better, Denver or Jacksonville?
Denver, I think Jacksonville's better.
So do I. Now, they just played Jacksonville. And basically, you're basically getting them the same kind of game, and against a team that I think is definitely worse. I think that Jacksonville, in fact, they just played Denver. They destroyed them. They beat them, I think, 37-20 or something like that in Denver like 3 weeks ago. Look, Buffalo to me, it's interesting. I heard someone say this, and the guy goes, some guy on some radio, he's like, I'm going to steal a line from Kirby Smart. They're hard to kill. And he's like, well, I don't think there's anything close to the best Buffalo team we've seen in the last 5 years, which I agree. I think it's probably the worst. Because I think it may be the hardest one to beat due to circumstance where there's really not a team out there that's that great like they've been in the past. And just Allen, to me, just seems like he's so magnificent, so tremendous, so over-the-top great. I mean, it's a one-man band. I will say that. But I think the one-man band will be good enough to beat this Denver team.
So I agree. I think there's
7.5.
Yeah, I'm completely with you, and I think there's a bit of Denver mystique that's out there. I think you got Peyton. I think the fact they're the 1 seed, but if you really look at that team, they're not that good. They were we all thought that division would be really good, and it really wasn't. The Chargers, who were the best of the lot, besides them, were banged up and just okay. Yeah. The Chiefs were cooked. The Raiders stunk. So I look at them and I go, all right, their defense is good, but it's not the Texans. And offensively, they don't do anything that's special.
No, I mean, they don't. Again, Bo Nix is just not a guy I'm personally a huge fan of. Look, when you look at this team this year, Anthony, and you say to you, look, again, they're basically won like 13 of the last 14 games, or 14 or 15, whatever it is, but they beat the Eagles in a game they definitely should have lost. They beat the Jets 13-11 in one of the worst games I've ever seen. They beat the Giants 33-32 in a game they were down by 20 points with 5 minutes to go. They beat the Texans in a game where they were losing the entire way, and the Texans played with the backup quarterback. They beat the Raiders 10-7 at home in a game they were trailing in the fourth quarter. They beat the Chiefs by 3 in a 50-50 game at home. They beat the Commanders by 1 point in a game they should have lost on the road. They beat the Raiders on the road by 7. They beat Green Bay at home in a close game. Then they got smoked by the Jaguars. Then they barely beat the Chiefs on the road with the Chiefs playing with a 7th-string quarterback. And then they struggled against Trey Lance and company. That if it wasn't for Trey Lance being so bad, their offense couldn't do anything. So if you really look at this team, Anthony, this is a team with a tremendous amount of flaws where they have maximized everything out of their season. Total credit to Peyton. Again, no one's talking about him for Coach of the Year. I mean, the guy deserves as much as anyone. He's not going to win it. But to your point, again, I think this Denver team has this like a little bit of mystique because of Peyton, which is, I get it. But when you really break down the layers of the team, you're like, are they really that good? Like, I think the Eagles are better than them. Even this version of the Eagles, which was the most frustrating team of all time. I just don't trust the offense at all. Really good defense, really good head coach. Just don't think, out of all the 4 teams, Anthony, in the AFC, they're the team to me that I would be most surprised got to the Super Bowl.
I agree. It's funny that they're the 1 seed because I'm completely with you.
You've heard the schedule, right? Do you see how many of those games they won? They could have easily, for a 14-3 team, not to sound like a dummy, they easily could have been 9-8.
Yeah.
And I mean 9-8. I don't mean like 11-6. Yeah. I mean 9-8.
Yeah.
They won like every possible close game.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm so with you. Any props in this game that you're looking at?
You know, yeah, Anthony, a guy that I like that I think is going to get some run is McLaughlin. First, the Bills we know are a really bad run defense.
Yeah.
Jaleel McLaughlin is actually played when he's gotten the chance. He's actually run the ball a lot better than Harvey.
Yeah.
He's run the ball a lot better than Harvey. Now, his over-under was 21.5. So I just need him to get, like, against the Bills defense, which is 29th out of 30 in teams. I'm going to read you his game log, McLaughlin, since he came back. 5 for 37, 7 for 40, 6 for 41. So he's had 18 carries for about 120 yards, averaging about 7 yards a carry. Peyton keeps saying, we got to get this guy more. He's been our best runner. Now, I don't know what you're saving him for at this point. Again, his over-under is 21.5. He's averaged 6 carries a game last 3 games. And again, I don't know why he wouldn't get those 6 carries again. Now, if he gets 6 carries again against a team that's allowing over 5 yards a carry, again, could he get six carries for 18 yards? Sure, he could. But he also could get 9 carries or 8 carries. If he gets that, I'm running to the window to cash my ticket. He's a guy that I just think that.
I love that pick. I love that pick. That's a great pick.
He doesn't need a lot to get there, Anthony. Even, God forbid, he gets 4. Which I think is the low point. Like, that to me I'd be really surprised if he only got 4. But let's just say he gets 4. I'd say, can he 4 carries, 22 yards for a defense that's allowing 5.5 yards a carry? I'd be like, all right, I still wouldn't feel like I'm out of it.
That's 22 yards, 5.5 yards.
Yeah, I wouldn't feel like I'm out of it. And I just think that this guy, I think there's a better chance than not. I'm looking here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. His 7 games, he's gotten the 6 carries in 5 of the 7. I think I see no reason against a team that can't stop the run. We watched Jacksonville last week. It was strange. Tootin. You watched the game, Anthony? Tootin had
and they went away from him.
They went away from him. ETN played well too, but Tootin I think had 5 carries for.
Tootin was explosive.
Explosive, right?
And they didn't go back. I was shocked. You know what's interesting? He was explosive. And in the Eagles game, the Eagles had the ball for 35 minutes, and I thought Tank should have got more carries.
Anthony, well, first of all, I couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. Look, Anthony, it's funny. We saw back in the day when me and you were back when it would be Deuce Staley, Brian Westbrook,
Buckholder,
and Carl Buckholder, and it's like they would do a little something different, but it worked really nicely. I understand Saquon is player of the year 2 years ago, and I understand he's a better player, but sometimes there's something to be said for having a guy that just brings something a little different. and mixing it up and maybe keeping Saquon fresh. I agree with you. Look, that we could talk about the Eagles. That could be a podcast. It could be for 24 straight hours. It wouldn't be enough time to talk about it to me. The gross mismanagement of a team that never should have lost that game. But look, I just think that this is a game where, again, I think McLaughlin has a chance to really get. I think the low point of him is 5 to 6 carries, I'm thinking. And if he gets 6 carries, I'll be stunned if I lose. Stunned. He'd have to average 3 yards a carry, which for a guy who's averaging his last couple weeks 7 yards a carry against a defense that's next to last, I'm just going to take my chances.
I got one for you I'd throw by you. Quickly a favorite of Josh Allen is Brandon Cooks. And
he's played really well.
He has. And if you look at Cooks, where he fits in, he'll get you chunk yardage because he's a deep shot. He can still run. And
he caught that 30-yard pass last week at the end of the game, which, it's interesting. I think he was like basically off the street.
Yeah.
Like you talk about a guy that was just, and I think his over-under.
He's taking Keon Coleman's role.
Correct. And again, exactly. No time for, Keon Coleman was our first-round pick. Who cares? They're just trying to win. And they don't care where a guy was taken and who can help them. And as long as that guy can help them today, And to your point, Anthony, look, Brandon Cooks played half the snaps last week. Half the snaps. And I think I read the other guy played half the snaps. Shavers tore his ACL. Gabe Davis tore his ACL, unfortunately. And you look at the team and you're like, Shakir's obviously going to play and be their slot guy, but Cooks he's going to be on the field a lot.
What's his over under?
27 and a half.
Ah, dude, you got to run to the window with that.
He just needs, some people are up to 31 and a half, but he really just, he could, and what Brandon Cooks has shown, he could do that in one play.
Yeah. No, I think you got to run to the window with that one. What's Josh Allen's rush yards?
I last week I had over 37 and a half. He finished with 35. Josh Allen is 36 and a half.
He's going to leave it out there.
No, for sure. Again, he definitely will leave it out there. It's just, again, it's funny, that guy, you talk about, I know I always, but he is, you talk about a tough freaking dude, man. That guy is just, I like him. They always say, like, one of the reasons I like you so much is you're a great person. You're a good guy. You're not fake.
Vice versa. It takes one to know one. You're the greatest.
Yeah, but you're a genuine human being that you're not fake. You are, and that's one of the, I hate fakeness. I can't stand it. I always say if I were to go out and I were to meet Josh Allen, like on a night, if whatever, me, you, and Josh Allen want to go out, I know the three of us would have a great time. There's certain players or people I wouldn't have that feeling about. Maybe I'd be dead wrong, but I know someone like Josh Allen would just be very just laughing, shooting the what and having a good time.
Yeah.
And he just gives back to kids. I see it. And there's so much pressure on that guy. Buffalo's never won a Super Bowl. While I have a big bet on New England to do it, if it's not them, and I'm rooting for Josh Allen heavy in this game, just on a personal human being standpoint.
All right, this night game, Saturday night, the other number 1 seed in action, Seattle against the team we just saw in San Francisco. And all of a sudden, Darnold shows up on the injured report with an oblique. He said it's no big deal, but
Well, what's he going to say? Is he going to say it's horrible? I can't even move.
Right.
I don't think I should be playing out there. Look, this is why I always say, and I say to you all the time, my favorite line is like, we treat these players like they're John Madden characters. You Sam Darnold's playing. You don't think I've never had a strained oblique. I don't pretend to know what it feels like, but I'm guessing it's pretty freaking painful. And for all I know, when he tries to throw the ball, he's like, and every single time, and he's just gutting it out just because he's tough. All these guys are so tough. People always make, you go out there in an NFL game and have freaking Myles Garrett chasing you and breaking your body in half, or just watch Justin Herbert last week. These guys are so tough. So this to me is a big deal. And again, I don't pretend to know how hurt he is. But to me, the only chance on earth that this San Francisco team had of winning was me reading that exact news. Nothing else. I mean, nothing else other than Sam Darnold is potentially severely compromised. I don't even know who their backup quarterback is. Do you, off the top of your head? I don't know who it is.
I was just thinking that. Look it up.
I can look it up. But the point being, Anthony, this team to me, look, they just played the last week, last week of the regular season, in a must game for both teams.
Oh, Drew Lock. Oh, how can I forget? Drew Lock. Oh, no. The Lock who bit the Eagles that Monday, fateful Monday night game in 23.
That was a hard one. I remember that. No, that was a bad one. That was a bad one. But the point being is, to me, this game, again, I love Seattle and teases. But again, I'm going, Anthony, on the approach that Darnold is relatively okay. But again, I don't listen. In the Eagles thing, you always maybe you someone because you're friends with everyone. You'll maybe know that Jalen Hurts has a sternal oblique. You may be like, wow, man, this could be bad. Maybe it's not going to be the Eagles' day. I don't know anyone. You don't know anyone in Seattle. Maybe you do. I'm saying, but the problem in the building, he's telling that he's like I'm really compromised, but I have to gut it out for my team. Or maybe it's not a big. I don't know, but if it is one of the things where he's compromised. Look, again, they're a 7-point favorite, not a 70-point favorite. You take a quarterback and he can't do anything. That lowers the levels of the playing field pretty freaking quickly. So live betting, as you talked about on Parks, best thing in the world, live betting, in my opinion. Parks has it, recommended at the highest of high levels. If Darnold looks like he's okay, and he looks like he's moving okay, can throw okay, doesn't look compromised, to me, I don't know how you can look any other way other than Seattle.
So I have a prop for you.
Mm-hmm.
Tongus, what's his yardage?
He's probably gonna, and it's funny, I'm gonna look at it right now. I'm guessing he's probably gonna be in the high 20s. Let me see what he is. No, it's 33. It's like 33, 35. So I thought, okay, so he's getting real respect. Now, Kittle would normally be like 60-ish, but 35-ish, 30. I'm
telling you,
played well. He's actually played well when he's gotten a chance.
When Kittle's not in, I've watched you and I watch all these games.
Yeah, he's played very well.
And I'm like, wow, man, Tongus, he's playing like when Kittle's out, and he was out quite a bit. Tongus came in and caught the ball. They run pieces. It's part of their offense. It's not about who's in it. It's about the position. And he's going to get plenty of targets.
Yeah, it's interesting, Anthony. Without Kittle, he looks like he averaged about 4.5 catches and 45 yards a game, to your point. So he went significantly over that in the games that Kittle missed. So he's shown he has the ability to do it for sure. He's played well for them. But he's not George Kittle, but he doesn't have to be if you're betting over 35.5 yards. Any
other props in that game you like?
I bet Darnold's under in pass yards. Under 237.5. Again, to me, that's a number based on him being healthy. It's like I consider it like a free roll. What do I mean by that? Like, if he's right, it's probably a reasonable number. If he's compromised, I know I'm going to win it, and that's how I feel about that. Anything else in that game? No, not really. Again, and
they just played, right? Like, they just played a couple weeks ago.
They just played a couple weeks ago. Low scoring game, and again, like one thing watching that game, the Eagles game to me, and I know they scored. What was the score of the game, Anthony?
23-19
or something. Oh, 23-19. Okay, 23-19. For a team that scored 23 points, like San Francisco did, watching the game, and again, I never felt like they were ever going to score at any possession.
No,
I always felt it was like an upset.
Agreed.
They were able to do it. And then they got the first drive of the game. They threw the 60-yard pass or whatever it was. They just had a bunch of big plays.
Yeah, the gadget play.
They had the gadget play. Jennings caught the 50-yarder.
Demarcus Robinson
caught the 50-yarder. Yeah, it was all like, and look, that's part of it. But there was never really, except for that last drive, but there really weren't many sustained drives. They scored 7. They scored 3 points against them 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I just, again, I also lean under. Like, although I don't trust, or maybe their team total under, I just don't trust San Francisco to do much against a really good Seattle
Now they will. Now
defense.
the difference is they're going to have Trent Williams. They didn't have Trent Williams in that game,
Fair point.
and I don't know about Pearsall. I haven't seen his status.
I don't think I have not heard anything positive on him yet. He's just one of those guys. Just seems like he's never
Like they need
right.
him.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
they do. Look, this is a team. Look, they need a lot of things to go right. They needed a lot of things to go right against the Eagles. Credit to them. Undermanned. They won a game they had no business winning. Can they do it again? Sure, they can, but I would really be surprised. Again, I think that this is Seattle's. This is their look. This is their chance. It's another team that's not won a Super Bowl. This is really no excuses, right? They're playing the worst probably out of the 8 teams. This has to be the worst team, right?
Yeah.
Has to be San Francisco.
Yeah.
They're playing the worst team at home. Then you get Stafford potentially a little nicked up, or you get a Bears team that's okay. I'm just saying, this is really for Seattle.
Yeah.
This has to be
This is
no
it.
excuses. This is it, right? Like you can't. This isn't one of these things where, like, oh my God, we really had a good chance. Oh, we'll come back hungrier next year. No, you gotta. For Seattle, this is to me. This is like, this is it. You know the song by Kenny Loggins. This is it. This is it. You. I just think this is their chance. I don't know if what they're going to get back. Things have gone their way, and they no excuses for them not to do it. I think they will though, but we'll see.
Pats Texans, the first game on Sunday. Great game. This is probably my favorite game to watch because I think it's such a great chess match. Like the Texans defense, Vrabel, that Pats defense. You got Drake May. I love this game.
Yeah, I think this is. I think once again we agree. Like this is. I would say the 2 games I'm most. Well, this would be number 1, and probably. I'm trying to think would be number 2. Probably maybe the Denver game, or I don't know that or Chicago. The game I have least interest in San Francisco, Seattle. But,
Yes,
but definitely this is the game I have the most interest in by far. It's interesting. All year I felt the Patriots were severely undervalued. That's why I bet 2 teams before the year. I bet the Chargers and the Vikings. Both those were eggs. Lemons didn't. Chargers. I think maybe they've had a chance. They didn't get the injuries, but certainly the Minnesota was a bad pick. And during the year, I bet Seattle and New England at long odds to go to the Super Bowl. And when I felt like New England all year has been very underrated, but for this particular game, I can't believe either the disrespect that Houston's getting. I understand there's no Nico Collins, but I don't think Nico Collins would have done much in this game anyway. Quite frankly, this is going to be. Anthony, I think no joke. I think I've said this to you on your show 10 times this year. And I'm pretty sure I'm 10-0, not even 9-1. I've said a game's gonna come down to the last play, and I've been right every time.
Yes.
I've been right every time.
I'm your witness. Yes.
I've said it like 10 times. It's come down to the last play.
Yeah.
This game to me will come down to the last play.
Yeah.
I getting 3.5 points.
Yeah.
I got to be honest. I'm mystified.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. Now Stroud played a legendarily bad game on Monday night. I mean, I don't think you could have played worse. Realistically, it's almost like he played for the other side. He was horrible. But they still win by 4 touchdowns despite that. I still think Stroud, despite that performance, maybe I'm just being.
Oh my God! I think this. I was thinking the same thing. I think he has a big game. I think he played. He was
at least a big enough game.
You're right. He was awful. Forget about putting the ball, like the 3 turnovers. He missed wide open receivers.
Oh my God! Nico Collins, at the end of the half, was open by 34 yards.
He missed what? And some of the guys, some of the throws, like he didn't put too much air onto enough air onto the ball.
He was off, Anthony.
Yeah.
He was off. It's like we've all played sports.
Yeah.
Like when I played tennis, there'd be certain days I hitting shots that I was feeling good, and other days I would the ball would be I'd hitting the ball out and going left, and my God, why is this happening? But it was happening. That's just the way it was, and you certain days you see like when Michael Jordan made the 6 3-pointers, he goes like this. Remember, he puts up the arms like, oh, I don't know. Yeah, I made the 6 threes. And he wasn't a 3-point shooter, but it was his day against Portland that one day. To me, different scenario, obviously, but Stroud, that was just not his day.
Yes.
That was just everything was just, Murphy's Law will go wrong. That was his bad day, and I feel like he escaped it. And like, all right, listen, that was my get out of jail free card of Monopoly. Look, I don't think he's going to come here, Anthony, and light this team on fire. I think it's going to be a hard 17-13,
Yeah.
16-14,
Yeah.
20-17.
Yeah.
21-20.
But I think he'll make a couple throws. Like, I could see him hitting Higgins or like Schultz.
He doesn't have a lot of weapons right now. I will say that.
Kirk, you know what's funny? Kirk has been good for them.
Well, he's a pro. Kirk is kind of like a different way. Brandon Cooks is not the career Brandon Cooks had, but he's a pro. Like Brandon Cooks is a pro. Christian Kirk's a pro, and he is a guy. He's played 5-6 years. He's had 1,000-yard years. He's a pro, and you know what you're going to get. This is going to be a tough game, Anthony. I like this. Is out of the 4 games. This is my favorite game. This is the one game I personally bet. I did bet the under 47.5 in Denver, but it's now down to 45.5. I thought the number should have been 45. So a lot of value got sucked out there. But getting 3.5 with Houston, I made this line 1.5. I thought it would come in at 2, maybe 2.5 max. I got in a big argument with my buddy. He proved me wrong. I really never thought this line would be north of 3. I'm shocked. Again, for a game that I really think I don't pretend to know who's going to win, Anthony. I think it's 50-50. I think if they played the game 100 times, I think it's flipping tails, flipping heads. But I think this game comes down to the last play, and you want to give me 3.5 points in a game that comes down to the last play, I'm going to tell you I think I cover this game 2 out of 3 times.
Yeah, I do too. I actually like Houston to win the game. Listen, I love the Drake, but let me see the Drake against that front. Like, that's a whole, for a young quarterback in the playoffs, that front is a whole different scenario.
I also think the 40.5 points, you could buy it up to 41. Like that would mean, my mission education tell me if I'm taking under 41, someone's going to need 22 points plus to beat me. I don't think either of these teams get to 22. I really don't. No. And obviously 22 is a fake number, but I'm just really 23, 24. I just think both teams are going to struggle to really move the ball a ton. Again, if I had to pick a score in this one, I'll say, 16-14, something like that. Yeah. I think it's going to be a close game either way. And again, getting 3.5 points in a battle that's going to be so tight, man, I don't understand people liking New England here. I just don't get it. And I've been Anthony all year. New England's been my team. I've been the team I've been backing. But I always say, would you rather be consistent or rather be right? I'd rather be right. And I think I just don't think the Texans are getting enough respect here. And I think the game's going to be very tight. Give me the 3.5 points.
I'm with you. Texas have been my pick to go to the Super Bowl. So we'll see.
You said you texted me during the Chiefs game. You go, you're watching the AFC champions right here, and I don't mean the Chiefs. And said that, and they've won, Anthony. They've won 10 in a row since your text, so they were listening to you.
Yeah, we'll see.
As hot as hockey. I mean, 10 game winning streaks don't grow on trees. And to me, again, I said, look, I'll say this. Look, New England is, what are they, 14-3? And now 15-3. Started off 1-2, so they're 14-1. So look, you're getting 2 teams that are combined 24-1 the last 25 games. So it's again, this is the game I'm most interested in. But your matchup personally, I think, and I don't see many ways for New England to score here. I
have a New England prop for you.
Yep.
Ramondre over receiving yards.
Well, look. I'll give him credit. He's had for a guy who had a lot of fumble issues, Anthony. He's had a really nice year. Now his over under receiving yards is sitting at 20.5. And he's been a huge part of their team out of the backfield doing that for them.
Here's why I say that, right? Show your work. Yeah. So what do we know from Drake? Like, you got to get the ball out. Like, against that defense, You're not going to have time for big drops to go down the field. You're going to want quick hitters. You're going to want to run screens. And I think he's going to get check downs or 4 or 5 opportunities in the pass game, and I got to get 20 and a half. I think he can break that on one play.
Well, Anthony, to your point, since he started playing more, which started 6 weeks ago, okay, 3 for 40, 3 for 27, 2 for 27, 5 for 55, 2 for 22, 3 for 75, 6 overs in a row.
Yep. So anyway, I'm trying to give you a prop in every game.
Yeah, he's done six straight games. He's done it, Anthony. 6 straight games. It's a long streak.
Rams and Bears. This could be a highly entertaining game. I can see this one being going over the total. I don't know what the total is on BetParks app, but I think it'd be fun too. Fun game.
It is it is a fun game. The question is how cold is the weather going to, how cold is it going to be? And you get like the California, team coming in potentially like sub, 15-degree weather or something like that. Anthony, it's interesting. This total opened in, I believe, 51. Yeah, it opened at 51, down to 48 and a half, because of the weather concerns. It's been bet down. Line's been teetering all week between 3.5 and 4. So I would advise this: if you like the Rams, if you see the 3.5, I would take it. It's not going to go to 3. If you like the Bears,
God! To your point, it's going to be it's going to be Sunday night. It's going to be in the low teens.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying, Anthony.
Yeah.
It's just now
17 mile an hour. That's just Arctic.
It's Arctic, and you're getting Stafford potentially a little nicked up. That's why you're getting that discount, because this this was being played in, let's say, 40-degree weather, 45-degree weather. This total would probably be sitting at 51.5 right now, for sure, 52, I think. So I think you're getting about a 3.5-point discount for the weather. Is it enough? Is it too much? That's the question. I don't pretend to know the answer on that. You probably would know a lot better for people who are going to be, what I would say is, if you know anyone in Chicago who's going to be at the game, what's the weather right now, right? I was surprised how many pass attempts there were in the Eagles game last weekend. I had people text me, dude, it is so freaking windy out here. And I had every Jalen Hurts under, which was, he did just enough to beat me in the completions. I had 19.5 completions. He got like 6 completions on that last drive. I mean, right side,
wow.
Wrong side winner or wrong side loser. But I was surprised there were even that many pass attempts in that game, how windy it was. I mean, for this, I'd like to speak to someone I know people are going to be at the game. What's the weather like? How windy is it? Do you think is it conditions that people can actually throw the ball? So I would maybe hold off from the total till you get a little bit more information personally. Side itself, look, Anthony, it's interesting. Look, this Bears team, and I think they've been the luckiest team in sports I could ever remember this year. But I will say this: I try to always be fair. That game against Green Bay, first half they got their what's beat in. Second half, Anthony, they really did kill them. I will give them that. And that second
great adjustments.
The coach in the first half, and the coach is obviously a smart guy, Anthony. I'm not going to sit and tell you that Ben Johnson doesn't know 10 trillion times more about football than me, because he does.
Yes.
I'm not going to tell you the guy's not a great coach, but what I am going to tell you is 4th and 2 at your own 34-yard line and you're going for it. I always say, who's the guy checking the analytics? Who's the guy? I'm just like, how can you go for 4th and 2 at your own 34-yard line? And it was 0-0 game or 3-0 game. I'm like, what are you doing, man? I find that like reprehensible. I don't know how these coaches can, and the treating field goals like cancer has gotten to a point. I don't know what you need to be clubbed over your head to realize that 3 points is not a negative connotation. If you get a field goal, it's not the worst thing in the world. And all these games are close. Man, do you think if McManus didn't miss 2 field goals, that Green Bay would have liked to have had an extra point in that game?
Yeah.
I mean, 3 points. I hate when these coaches just give away the opportunity to score. But anyway, Bears, I give them credit. from that second half on, Anthony, they really did outplay Green Bay at a high level. Caleb showed his talent, which is undeniable. His talent's undeniable. It's consistency I'd like to see more of, but the talent, man, the talent is definitely there. I feel like there's a game in the past. I would always just be on the Rams, and I'd be annoyed watching the Bears just do their BS stuff. I thought the number should have been 3.5 to 4. I had it like 3.75 in my numbers. It's right there. It's right in between 3.5 and 4. I'm not going to force bet something where it's exactly where my number is. If you ask me who I think is going to win the game, I think the Rams will find a way to win the game. If I knew it was going to be a game by margin, I think the Rams are more likely to win the game by margin than the Bears are. But I've also, Anthony, on the same airwaves last week, I told you in a clean game, I really felt the Rams would be able to beat Carolina by double digits. It was a clean game. I guess Nkoy dropped the pass at the end of the half for a touchdown, but they were losing with a minute to go.
Yeah.
So let's keep it real that this Rams team that everyone thinks is God's creation, they're a good team. But are they some amazing, ridiculous, over-the-top team? No. Bears certainly can win, but I think the Rams find a way to do it.
All right. That'll take us to our last game, Monday night. Let's move over to college. The national championship game, Indiana, Miami. It's the crowning of Cignetti and Mendoza. And I love that Indiana team. And you and I both agree about Carson Beck. We're not the biggest Carson Beck fans. He played well in the comeback against Mississippi. I don't think he can do that against Indiana.
Yeah, no, listen, here's the thing. Now, a lot of things to say about this game. First of all, again, loving the coach for Indiana. Like, I would go as far to say I think it's the best job of turning around a program. Like,
in history.
I'm trying to, going back time, I could maybe John Thompson when he went to Georgetown, Jim Calhoun when he went to Connecticut. I don't know if I could even think of a college football coach ever who's done this. I don't know if I can even think of anything else. Those are like two that maybe came, and that was going back 50 years. Okay. Yeah. What he's done is if someone said to you, yeah, Indiana is going to be 2 years ago, Indiana will be a playoff team 2 straight years, made the national title game, you would have bet your house to win a penny that didn't happen because it was impossible. It wouldn't be impossible that a team like Indiana could do this. But they have, and this guy really does, Anthony, seem like the real deal of coaches. I mean, he really seems like every part about this guy, you're like, this is the guy I wish was coaching my team, right? No nonsense, knows what he's talking about. Everyone respects him the second he walks in. You know, kind of has like a Tomlin kind of, just everyone respects the guy. And all the love in the world for him. But now I'm going to say this, though. I'm watching these games. And by the way, Miami's killed me in these playoffs. Killed me. I've bet against them multiple times. They've hurt me. Indiana's been good to me. I bet them against Alabama. I won. I bet them really big against Oregon. I won. So it's a combination of two teams. One's been good for me, one's been bad. But I'm hearing people like Herb Street, I guess whoever's announcing the games, comparing this team, saying this may be the best college team of all time. Old. I watched Joe Burrow with Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. Clyde Edwards-Helaire was back a day, good college running back with Joe Burrow. Let me make this clear. Indiana on their best day is not beating that LSU team. I'm watching Alabama teams with Nick Saban.
Oh, I agree with you. Yeah.
Are factories. Yeah. So let's pump the brakes calling this the best.
Yeah, the best D-line, LSU, Alabama. I'm so with it. Listen.
Memory.
You're right. This is a sum of all parts team. I think they're.
So that's a great line, Anthony. This is a sum of all parts team. I like that very much. What you just said.
Yeah.
But Anthony, look, I'll be honest. When I made my number here, and I didn't know what to factor in, if anything, and I don't know what you factor in. Do you factor in anything, Anthony, for home field for Miami, or not even a half point? Do you even give anything to it?
A little bit, but Indiana's going to travel. And it's not like
going to travel.
And it's not like Miami fan base is some like
correct. Correct.
It's
Like
not.
the
It's
Eagles. It's not like Philly. It's not
yeah,
Philly. Yeah.
like Indiana, the traveling Indiana band, and the fact that it's the national championship game, I think will negate the home field advantage
I think
for
this
the most
line,
part.
yeah, what I think this line should come in at, when I did my numbers, I'm gonna be honest. And again, this has been a team. I think Indiana's great. I made the line 7. I made the line 7. And line opened at 7. Got immediately bet at 7.5. Now it's up to 8.5. And
Yeah,
I
it's
think
big
I think it's the
number.
over exuberance. It is a big. Now and again, I think Indiana. It doesn't mean I don't think Indiana's great. It doesn't mean I don't think Indiana's going to win the game. I have not bet Miami plus 8.5. I don't know if I have the guts to do it because I just really don't like Carson Beck, and I just really feel so strongly, coaching wise, quarterback wise, everything in my instincts is telling me Indiana's going to win the game. Now, do they win the game by 9? Do they win the game by less than 9? I don't know, but I really feel like Indiana's going to win the game. But look, I'll say this about Miami. Now, second half, they slowed down tremendously against Ole Miss. First half, though, I didn't think anyone could shut down Ole Miss like that, and their defense was really made
Man,
Mississippi
the front's legit. I mean, you
yeah, it's
got
legit.
Bain.
It's legit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's legit, Anthony. And I always say, do you want to be consistent? Do you want to be right? Miami's a team coming to the playoffs. I felt Notre Dame was significantly better than Alabama and Miami. I thought both those teams got very lucky to get in. I was wrong on Miami. They're a lot better than I thought. They clearly are a lot better than I thought because they beat a good A&M team on the road. They absolutely destroyed Ohio State, who was a good team. And Mississippi game, they killed them in the first half. Second half was very, very back and forth game, but a very good Mississippi team. And they clear way. I give them their due. So this is a team that I've underrated. And you know what? I think the line's a tick too high, Anthony. I just do.
Yeah.
I can't. For me, it's Miami or pass, but I don't think I have it in me to back Miami because I just don't trust the quarterback, and I still something about the coach. I don't know what it is, Anthony.
Yeah.
I don't like him. I don't like something in my just instincts tell me this is a guy who was just in some spot.
I agree. I'm with you.
Gonna
And
make a mistake or
ultimately,
something.
I think Indiana will be able to move the ball. See, I love their receivers. I love Mendoza,
They have a lot of
accurate.
great receivers.
And then you got Surratt, you got Becker as your deep threat, you got Cooper, and you got 2 running backs. Like I
It's a
just
great
think
team.
I just think that they're too good offensively for Miami to keep up. And as good as the
By the
front
way,
is, they're going to score.
I think I said to you, I'm not that catch by Malachi Tony
Oh yeah.
that was out of bounds.
Oh, yeah, it
was
was
the most athletic play I've ever
Yeah,
seen.
ever
I've
saw.
never seen. He is.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about an athlete, man. Oh my God, is he impressive? But Carson Beck, I don't know. I think Indiana wins the game, but again, 8.5 points. There's no free lunch there, my friend.
No.
They are taxing you to the hilt.
Yeah.
If you want to take Indiana, you are being taxed at levels that it's a high. I can't get. For me, it's Miami or pass, but I think it's going to be a pass for me. I'll watch the game. But Parkside, you could bet the live betting. I'll watch it, and if I see, by the way, if I see that, my instincts tell me this is going to be like a 24-20 kind of Indiana win. 27-20. I think Indiana's going to grind out a respectable game where they're the better team, but Miami's going to be there in the fourth quarter. But if I see that Carson Beck can't keep up, I'll gladly live bet Indiana if I don't think he can keep up and I feel like Indiana's moving the ball, or vice versa. If I'm seeing it's like it's just a dogfight, and they're favoring Indiana by too much. I always say watch the games, have an open mind, and let your eyes dictate to you what you think's going to happen. Because if you do that, that's your best chance. People always are biased. When you bet a game beforehand, Anthony, think of it. You're always going to be biased for that team, not even meaning to be. You're going to think the referees are cheating against you.
Yeah.
You're going to think the world's against you. Oh my God, how could this happen? You're just going to be that way without even knowing you don't even know you're doing it. But you're going to inherently be doing it. If you choose to just watch the game, go to the Bet Park site, be like, you know what? I really like how like the Indiana game against Oregon. They kept favoring Oregon. Live betting, Oregon was favored every time. Oregon was favored. When I say favorite, like if they're down by 14, the game line would be 10.5, 3.5 point favorite from that point on. And I'm like, there's no universe I'm in that Oregon should be favored against this team right now.
Yeah.
Not the game I'm watching. So watch the game, be objective, and maybe you'll find a spot where there's a good thing on Parks where you can find something that's profitable.
I love it. My brother, we got to wrap it up, and you got a plane to catch. So listen,
Yes,
have a
sir.
safe trip. Have fun.
Appreciate you.
All right? And enjoy the football, baby.
All right, brother.
Thanks, Brain. There he is, the Brain. That's going to do it. Thanks to our friends at Parks Casino with the Bet Parks Sportsbook app. Check it out. Have some fun this weekend, and good luck.
We all silly like the mayor.